Hey, oh man, today has been pretty rushed. Pretty rushed. We were busy at work and we have absolutely nobody to work anymore. Everybody's quit. It's like me and a handful of other people. So I am really kind of hyper right now because I worked really hard to get out because I'd already bought my ticket. I planned on this. I really do want to see Spider-Man No Way Home is the name of the movie I'm going to go see. And it's, that big multiverse extravaganza that has been promised through hints and spoilers in the trailers, where it is indicating that it's going to combine all three movies. It's combining the Tobey Maguire movies and the Andrew Garfield movie with the Tom Holland universe, and it's all going to combine into one universe. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see this movie. I really do want to see this movie. So I got to get in there. I got to prove I bought my ticket already and stuff like that. But other than that, hey, in just a few seconds, guys, I'm going to be right back to let you know what the big buzz is. If it actually lives up to the buzz that has been leading up to this movie, the release of this movie, I am going to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. All right. In just a few seconds, I'll be right back. Bye. So guys, I just got done watching the movie. I'm not sure what exactly I got done watching, but it was darn entertaining. It was for sure entertaining. All the way through the movie, he just seemed like he was making a lot of un-Peter-like decisions in the movie, in the plot, and then aside from that. In other scenes, he was making the most brilliant Peter decisions ever. He scienced his way out a lot of these problems, and I was really impressed with that portion of that plot. I thought that was super cool, and I thought that it really gave us a really cool version of Peter Parker, almost the truest version of the Peter Parkers. I really dug that. Now, I'm going to post this about a week or so after I've seen it, because I did want to kind of mention, I know it's a big mystery, or it's supposedly a big mystery, about some of the Easter eggs that are in this movie, and they're all true. And that's the portion of this movie that really worked. To me, this movie was so much comic book that than any other of these movies, and it was just because of the plot. We had a lot focused on Peter in the beginning, and then the action started rolling, and it was great. Should I even give a premise of this movie? It's a Spider-Man movie, and he basically thinks it really sucks that people know who he is, that he's Peter Parker, and that's where the last movie left us, was right there, where J. Jonah Jameson actually announced that he was Peter Parker, and it kind of picked up from that point on. There were just, like I said, some scenes where he was making very un-Peter-like decisions, and then for every bad decision he made, like I said, he came in contact with all the other movies' villains, and it was glorious. It was super cool. It was super cool to see them up on the screen again, to see these failed franchises, the Tobey Maguire. All people would argue with me that was a successful series franchise, except for the third one. They took pieces and parts of these different franchises and they molded it together, and it gave us something better than the first two could ever offer us. And that was it was, at least the Marvel Universe version of this character was the truest version to the character I've seen. There was a lot of plot that there was a lot of plot that they went through. and so it was packed in there, and it flowed well. It was just a lot they got through. There was a couple of twists and turns that I'm not sure I exactly agree with. A couple of decisions that I'm just like, eh. And the ending kind of left me scratching my head to turn off my brain and just watch this movie as a whole. It was really fun. It was, yes, again, this is the reason why I'm going to be posting this about a week or so after this movie has died down. But we do get to see both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in their respective roles as Spider-Man, and they were given pretty significant roles. They are given a really good screen time. And that portion of that movie was very satisfying. We got to see these different versions of the same character mix and meld and act as a unit, and it was really fun. It was a super fun time. If you just don't dwell on the plot too heavily. And the reason why I said it is almost comic booky, or at least the most comic booky movie from this movie franchise that I've ever seen, is because, I mean, some of these plot twists can be explained in one word. If we had been reading this in a comic book, this is a plot that I could foresee being in a comic. And us comic nerds usually just say, because of comics. And that explains pretty much everything. There are certain things that we kind of gloss over in the comics because they're comics. And I think this movie's kind of guilty of that. But if you want to go in and just have a fun time, and you're given exactly what you were promised, which was all three Spider-Men getting together and fighting a myriad of extremely cool characters, then you're going to get that. You're going to get that in this movie, and it's very satisfying. It's very fun. The plot, not so much. The action and what we had to get through the plot to get to, the great comic booky action sequences. Not only the action sequences, but just the character moments that were really fun. If you didn't think about it too hard. All right, so I'm just repeating myself. That's it, guys. I really did enjoy this movie. I don't want to be mean to it. It was very earnest in its delivery, and it gave us a very energetic. It gave us a very enthusiastic try. If you wanted, I could pick apart this movie, but I don't want to. It's one of those movies that, as a whole, it was so fun that you just don't want to question it. I guess that's a 90%. If you really want to pin me to it, I really want to give it 100%, but I know in my brain it's telling me not to. Because there are just some things that I'm not sure I agree with. But initial reactions, it was good. I enjoyed it, and that's about it. All right. Once again, as usual, I do always, as always, wish everybody peace. Montane, I'll see you guys later, and goodbye. I can edit that down to maybe 6 minutes.